Hey, Bulls and Bears, we are back with another dose of economic reality. My name is JJ. You're watching Bull Boom Bear Bust. It is Friday, January 20th, 2023. Thanks, everybody, for being here. As usual, we've got a lot of news to get caught up on. The economy continues to spiral down the hill, basically. More layoffs and just more craziness and insanity to go ahead and report on today. Let's go ahead and get into it. And here is a recent announcement. Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, laying off 12,000. This is just an enormous amount of people to get laid off in a short period of time. And the entire tech industry, if you work in the tech industry, you're likely um, very concerned right now because of all the layoffs that we're seeing. So something isn't right when you see this many layoffs in such a short amount of time. For anyone out there still doubting the strength of the economy, and remember, we always have to remind people the strength of the economy is based on the consumer. This is a consumer nation. We're a net importer nation. The United States is the world's largest consumer nation, the world's largest debtor nation. And what's happening now is the consumer is getting tapped out, the cost of living. The wages not keeping up with the rising costs and even the current costs. Even if prices don't go up anymore, people cannot even, for the most part, keep up with the current cost of living. So spending is slowing down. Advertising is not as good as it used to be. And of course, advertising is what a lot of these tech platforms rely on. And, this should be a reminder that we all have to be very, very careful on the expenses we choose to take on the lifestyle that we choose to take on a home, a mortgage for 30 years. So you take out a mortgage based on how much you're making today to find out you're laid off next month. And now you've got this 30-year mortgage based on a nice income. Now the income's gone. And regardless of whatever industry you're in, you may want to, be really careful about taking on new debt at this time because we're headed into an economic, over an economic cliff here, in my opinion. And 2023 is going to be a wild year. I think we're going to see a lot of things this year that we never thought we'd see. And for anybody that doubts that, I mean, look at what's happened to the world since 2020. If anyone thinks that things can't get any more crazier, insane, or even any more dangerous, crime is going to continue to increase, poverty increases, homelessness increases. A couple of reports ago, we showed you some downtown streets here in San Diego where tents just lining the streets all the way around the block. Once nice cities are now danger zones and just things happening. I saw a video out of San Francisco where a shop owner, this homeless person was outside and the shop owner sprayed the lady down with water trying to get her to leave because apparently the shop owner thought she was deterring business. But she was right there in front of the store. He sprayed her with water, and I heard that he got into some trouble for that. All right, so why don't we just take a look at it right here? Here is the shop owner, of course, with the hose, and there is somebody hanging out in front of his shop. And listening to the audio, I don't think she was asking for a free shower. I don't think she wanted to be sprayed. It's actually cold right now. And yes, it's California, but it's still cold here in California. It gets down into the 30s and 40s at night. Even in the daytime, it's pretty cold and cloudy. So yeah, not a good thing. Here's a little bit of the footage telling her to leave. And scenes like this are just becoming more common. Now, hopefully, there's not many people taking it to this extreme and you have to spray them. There's loitering laws, so you could always call the cops if you think there's enough cops around to come and help you. All right, well, long story short, it wasn't the happy ending for the shop owner. Hosing down the homeless after viral video and global outrage, San Francisco gallery owner Collier Gwynn arrested today for using water hose to spray down the homeless woman on the sidewalk. So my question to you is, don't you think it's interesting that these cities, San Francisco and many others, don't have enough resources to deal with the homeless problem, but yet they're surprised when something like this happens? And I'm not saying that he should have did this. Obviously, there's other ways they could have dealt with it. Would the cops have came if he would have called the cops and told them to come and get the homeless person because it was hurting his business? Well, the cops certainly came for this one, and I guess he found out the hard way. Now in San Francisco, you can get away with doing a lot of stuff. Have you guys seen the videos where people just grabbing things off the shelf in the stores, and they're not even worried because they don't have to worry about getting arrested because they made the laws much more lenient for that type of thing. But do not give out any free showers if you are in San Francisco. All right, somebody sent me this. This is a store in British Columbia. They're up in Canada. $13 for 4 sliced apples. Can you think of a bigger ripoff? All right, those are sliced very nicely. Don't get me wrong, but $13 rather for 4 sliced apples. Here's an idea: save a lot of money. Buy the apples in a package where they're not sliced. Slice them yourself. Money saving tip: slice them yourself. Fight back against inflation. Or better yet, plant your own apple tree. If you have a yard and some ground, some space, plant your own apple tree. I tried to grow an apple tree out here in California. It's too dry and too hot. It ended up dying, but I do have a lemon tree and an orange tree. They're pretty small right now, but they will produce fruit because I'm going to keep them watered as long as we don't run out of water. And that's been a topic here in California for a while, the big drought. But with all the rain we've gotten over the past couple weeks, enormous amount of rain, hopefully some of the drought conditions, reservoirs will start building back up again. We show you videos here. We showed a few times of videos of Lake Mead and other lakes where it was just really, really low at 100-year low levels of water. All right, still on the topic of inflation, take a look at this. Somebody sent me this. This is supposedly a New York grocer. $10 for eggs, that looks about right. Oreo cookies, almost $7. Jimmy Dean sausage, $15. That seems pretty crazy. If you are from New York, please let me know. Is this normal or is this just a price gouging location here, a price gouging retailer, grocery store? Also, more layoff announcements today. We've got a huge one here out of Wayfair, about 1,750 jobs being cut. And this comes after the Amazon announcements of over 10,000 layoffs there. Well, actually, no, it was 10,000. And then another, if I'm right, another 17 or 18,000. And that also comes on the heels of many other big layoffs, right? So, folks, this economy is continuing to fall apart, more job losses. Now, it's interesting because you look at the job numbers and they say, oh, look at all the jobs that were added. What they're doing is they're counting each part-time job as a job. So instead of people, when they lose a job, instead of counting that as a lost job, if they work 2 part-time jobs or maybe a regular job and a gig economy job or a side hustle, they'll count that as 2 jobs, right? So it's more shenanigans, more playing with the numbers, manipulating the numbers. All right, friends. So a little bit of a shorter one today. What do you guys think about the food prices? Was that for real? Was that New York City correct with those prices? And up in Canada, was that correct with the 4 sliced apples? Or is someone moving food in front of a price on a shelf that's too expensive just to get a photo opportunity? Please let me know what you think and what you're seeing in your local grocery stores. I was actually in Costco the other day, and something that I like to use is something called ghee. It's basically butter. It's a different type of butter though. Used to get two 22-ounce jars of this stuff for 25 bucks. So about 44 ounces for $25. Now it's one 25-ounce bar, if I remember correctly, a 25-ounce jar rather, for the same price. So from 44 ounces to about 25 ounces, same price. Shrinkflation, folks. Hope everybody's doing well. Short one today. Thanks for being here. We'll be back this weekend though with more economic financial news for you. Keep stacking, folks. Keep preparing for this economy to continue to crumble into the abyss. We'll talk to you very soon. Be careful out there. Big love and peace.